Hey there, happy Monday. Welcome to Rise and Receive. This is a reset point in your day where you have an opportunity to explore how to receive your fulfillment by unlearning struggle. So today I'm actually doing part 3 on a 3-part series around receiving fulfilling relationships and how to open the flow gates. So we've already done part 1 and part 2 where we talked about some blind spots that can actually block the flow of fulfillment in relationship. And today in particular, I want to talk about a very common phenomenon in relationship, which is when you have an existing relationship that you wish you could improve, wish you could change in some way. Maybe there's a particular person that you wish were behaving differently. So if you're interested in opening the flow gates around fulfillment in relationship, and this speaks to you, I'd like you to think about that particular relationship, kind of bring it in here to your mind and heart, and then see if today's Rise and Receive is something that you can apply to your life right away. So I'm going to be talking about a particular blind spot that I call the cause and effect blind spot. So we're going to talk about cause and effect as it relates to changing or improving or elevating your relationships. But before I do that, I want to talk a little bit about blind spots specifically. So I define a blind spot as when your current point of view hides an essential insight. Now, your consciousness creates your reality, and your consciousness is the sum total of everything that you think about, believe, expect, emotions, conscious and unconsciousness. So it's everything happening in your inner world. And your consciousness literally is the lens through which you see life. So when you're seeing relationships one way and you have a blind spot, that's all you can experience until somebody helps you see the blind spot, and then you can shift your consciousness and create a new reality. And because I am all about teaching people the very concrete, specific, and results-producing skill set of receiving, we're going to talk about receiving blind spots. And so a receiving blind spot occurs when you're operating more as a human doing versus a human being. And one of the things that I have really come to see clearly is that most of us are really good at doing. We think, we take action, we figure out, we approach the things that we want in life like a hunter. But when you don't know how to actually receive the things that you work so hard for, and you're not receiving what you want, what do? Well, if you don't know how to receive, we tend to work harder or think more or figure out more. And so we're always pursuing and chasing, and those long overdue rewards for all of our efforts remain out of reach. But when you really understand how to receive, that it actually is its own skill set, then everything that you've been working for can come in. The flow gates open and the stuckness can fall away. All right. So let's talk about the cause and effect blind spots. So blind spots, by definition, are things that we cannot see. So I like to give clues. And you know that the cause and effect blind spot might be hindering or limiting your capacity to bring out the best in a relationship, improve it, or reveal possibilities that you couldn't reveal before. The cause and effect blind spot may be occurring when you are really fixated or focusing on the other person changing. So what that looks like is, you're in this relationship. Maybe it's a good relationship that you wish were better. Maybe it's a place you feel stuck. Maybe it's a family member, a friend, a coworker, or a romantic partner, romantic interest, right? And there's some discontent, and you're just wishing that they would be different or do different or behave differently or say something differently. You want them to change. You want the situation to change. They need to change. That's the clue that the cause and effect blind spot might be hindering you. And so what that's going to do is it's going to produce a whole bunch of stuckness. And there's a number of reasons. When you're focused on the other person changing, what's really happening in consciousness, the consciousness that creates your reality, is I don't feel good. They are the source of me feeling good. they have to change. In other words, I am separate from the feeling that I want in this relationship, and they have the power for me to have that feeling. So in consciousness, you are separate from everything that you want. And on top of that, you are actually relatively powerless. I mean, you can try to control somebody else's behavior. But one of my very first relationship teachers used to say this: if you want to kill something, control it. Relationships are not things to be controlled. They are experiences that arise when two people come together and they each bring their beingness. So the way to open the flow gates then is to change from being outer focus to the true cause of every effect in your life. And the true cause of every effect in your life begins in consciousness, internally. All right. So you might want to look at, there's two ways I like to think about it. One is, what's the mirror reflection? What is it that I want in them that I can actually cultivate within myself? Okay, so mirror reflection is one. And the other one is, what am I willing to see? What am I willing to experience? Because when we look at a person through a certain set of lenses, that's all we can see until we become willing to see, feel, or experience something differently. So the mirror reflection might be, for example, let's say you want to have more fun, right? And you wish that person were more fun. You might want to think about, how is that a mirror reflection of my relationship with myself? How am I not willing or not really prioritizing fun in my relationship with my own self and my own life? Maybe you want intimacy, more intimacy. Are you looking to that person to change so that you feel more intimacy? Or can you look at the mirror reflection of, well, where am I not intimate with myself? Where am I not willing to see or feel or honor my own feelings? The things that are most important to me. Where am I not willing to pay attention to my sense of vulnerability? Okay. So those are a couple examples of where is that being a mirror reflection where I can look within instead of looking outside of myself and wanting the other person to change. The other example is, what are you willing to see in that other person? Because what you have the opportunity to do is bring out or reveal the best possibility in a relationship. Can you control what happens in the relationship? No. Can you control the other person? No. But you have a tremendous amount of power to bring out the best, to reveal the best based on what you are willing to be and bring to the relationship. So one of the most powerful examples I got to see was when I had a mom who was very concerned about her son. He was drinking more than, it was making her really, really nervous, and she was really worried about him. And she was always in a state of upset because she wanted him to stop drinking. And so one of the things I illuminated for her was, you know what, as long as you're fixated on that, what's really happening in consciousness is you're saying, you need to change so that I feel better. She was making him and his behavior the source of her well-being. And so what we changed was her willingness to see the best in him, because all of her worry was causing him to see only things that caused her more worry and things that caused her more fear. So when she started to really become willing, and she was using her willingness mantras of I am willing to see the best in my son. I'm willing to see his strength. I'm willing to see how brilliant he is. I'm willing to see how resilient he is. And she really paid attention to training her awareness. It didn't mean that the drinking went away. It didn't mean that she could control his behavior or make that change to feel better. But when she became willing to see him in the highest way and that with the greatest potential, with the truth of all of who he is, not just this focused little piece, she started to calm down and feel better. And what that did was it opened up and invited, and she was able to open the flow gates to receive new possibilities in that relationship and have really healthy, powerful conversations about his drinking. But before, she couldn't. That was a stuck place. That's where the stuckness occurred. So those are two ways that you can really illuminate the cause and effect blind spot and open the flow gates to really reveal the best in your relationships. And remember, Revealing the best doesn't mean that you can control the outcome, but you really can receive a whole new level of possibility and fulfillment when you shift from being outer focused to inner focused. So with that, what I want to do is highlight one piece from the Receive Love card of my brand new Receive card deck. This has been the theme for the week, off by one day on Monday now, about fulfilling relationships. And remember, the being model of power, the way to receive your fulfillment beyond your imagination and with much greater speed, is when you start shifting to the power of invitation. Invitation is the balance to intention. Invitation allows you to welcome the kindness of life when you can't control the circumstances. Intention is great when you have a task and you know what you want, but when you're wanting to open the flow and really start to dissolve your inner glass ceiling, invitation takes you to a whole new level. So here's your willingness mantra. I am willing to have the love within me come alive in my heart. I am willing to have the love within me come alive in my heart. That's if you want love, if you really want to open the flow gates to love. If you want to see the best in another person, you can use some of the earlier examples. I am willing to see the best in this person. I am willing to feel good in the presence of this person under all conditions. So here's the excerpt. Want intimacy? How can you be intimate with yourself? Feel unappreciated by another? Where do you lack appreciation for yourself? Angry at another's lack of boundaries? Where are your boundaries weak within yourself? Next time you find yourself seeking love from another, stop and consider that your relationships are simply mirrors that point to the places you can love yourself more. Then ask and explore, how would I be with myself right now if I treated myself with love? As you practice loving kindness for yourself, the physical world rises up to mirror you in expected and unexpected ways. So, as people have been practicing receiving principles in my Receive course, all kinds of new things have been opening up in the realm of love and relationships and family and healing. And that's possible for you too. If you would like to explore how to learn the skill set of receiving by unlearning struggle, the struggle that comes from over-relying on the doing model of power, I invite you to check out the Receive course, which you can register for right away for as little as $97 a month. And there's also income-aware pricing if this is something that you know you really want to do, but but money's an issue. So you can apply for that right on the page. So go to receivecourse.com. You can access the Student Hub right away, join the Q&A drop-in hours once a week, and become part of a very rich Facebook members-only group. Beyond that, there's always free and low-cost resources. I'll include the links below. Keep coming back to Rise and Receive. Go and buy the Receive card deck that's available at receivecarddeck.com and open the flow gates to more fulfillment in your relationships and beyond. If you like this, please share. It helps me reach the people that I'm here to serve. And if you'd like to learn every time I release a new video, subscribe by hitting the red subscribe button on the YouTube channel. Hope you have a great day, and I'll see you at the next Rise and Receive. Bye, everybody.